You are listening to a Core Confidence Life production. www.coreconfidencelife.com.
If you're an expert in your field and you're looking to spread your message by starting your own podcast, well, turn to Core Confidence Life. We are a talent development, promotion, and coaching service that will walk with you every step of the way and help you prepare, polish, and launch your podcast. We'll even be your producer as well. So if you're ready to speak into the mic, hey, speak to us first at Core Confidence Life. Go to coreconfidencelife.com and look under Speaking and Podcast. Core Confidence Life. Contact us so we can help you master your podcast game and take the field.
Who's your daddy? That's right, you done heard me. Who's your daddy?
Welcome to the Core Confidence Life. I am your host, Dennis R. Sumlin, broadcasting to you from New York City. And boy, do we have an interview for you. Speaking about who's your daddy, we are interviewing a father and son on the program today. And the son, at 12 years old, has now directed his first movie. Details coming at you. That's right. You guessed it. You are listening to the Core Confidence Life podcast. This is Dennis R. Sumlin, high atop the Core Confidence Life building here in New York City. This is a men's development program, and our aim is to help you build core self-confidence and healthy self-esteem, developing authentic relationships with yourself as well as others. Don't forget yourself, because you're a person too. Aren't you not? Are you? You are? Then develop that relationship with yourself. We interview a lot of authors and actors and even other podcasters on this show as one of our ways of illustrating the art of building core self-confidence. They come on the program and they share with us their journey through the entertainment business and having to build up, core self-confidence, building up resistance to rejection, not caring what people think of you, and everything like that. And there's some great tips. And now on this upcoming interview, we have someone who's gotten his start real early in that building confidence to weather the hits that you get from the entertainment business. So we have his father on, Corys Foxx, an actor and producer. And along with Corys Foxx, we're going to be interviewing his son, 12-year-old Austin Foxx, who is an actor, and he just produced his first movie, right? Now, this first movie that we're going to be talking about, coming at you, is in something called a film festival. And I know a little bit about these things because I've actually had 2 movies submitted to a film festival. So I'm familiar at least a little bit with this process. So his first movie is going into the film festival, and it's called Mom. And if you go on the Core Confidence Life website, you'll be able to see more information and links to Mom and the other social outlets for Cory and Austin. And what's funny about this is, speaking of Mom, the movie, I often do interviews for other podcasts, not always this one. I host other podcasts and so forth. And just by coinky dinkle, I ended up interviewing the woman in the movie Mom. There's a woman in the movie Mom. I think she plays the mom or something. And I actually interviewed her without knowing it was her until she was telling me what movies that she was in. So what I'm about to do, right? We're going to go into the interview with Cory and Austin Foxx, and stay tuned after that. I'll play just a little clip of the interview with one of the characters in Mom, who I interviewed without knowing she was in Mom until she said it. So here we are, Corys Foxx. He has been in some shows that we might know, like Rocky and Bullwinkle, and other things he'll tell you about. And Austin Foxx, a 12-year-old actor and producer, getting his film on early. We're introducing first Cory Foxx. How are you, Cory?
I'm doing great.
And we're introducing his son, Austin. How are you, Austin?
I am also great.
Also great. All right. So we got a father-son duo here, and Austin is 12 years old, already directed his first movie. And we're going to get into that a little bit. But let's talk about what we're doing now. So, Cory, tell us a little bit about you to get us started.
Oh, well, I'm an actor and producer, like you said. I basically got started in the industry back in 1998 when I moved out to California to pursue an acting career. Shortly after that, I found out I'm probably a little bit better behind the camera than in front of the camera, but I did some really good movies, too. I was in The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle with Robert De Niro, Rene Russo, and Jason Alexander, and I was also in The Majestic with Jim Carrey. And then I turned around and started making my own movies through a company called Lifeline Entertainment.
All right. Cool. That's a good brief. And Austin, how about you? Give us a little bit about your history. What are you doing now?
How I started in the industry is I would see these people on TV, and I was just thinking that I would want to do this. And my dad was in the industry, and he had told me all these stories. So that kind of helped me want to get into the business. After asking my dad, we signed me up for some lessons at an acting school called Barbizon, and I did lessons there for a few months. Then I entered one of their competitions, won second place, and met with some agents. I got about 32 callbacks from different agents wanting to interview me. And I went with my current agent, which I have now, Don Landrum.
All right. Okay. Go ahead.
Well,
so
and a little bit more. Oh, we get lost here?
Yeah. So, okay. So you have directed a movie so far in your 12 years. So tell us about that movie.
Well, it's a movie called Mom, and it is about a 12-year-old boy who believes he is forced to raise his two younger siblings, Alex and Aurora, after their mom dies of a drug overdose. After watching a news article about parents being separated from their children at the border, he gets mixed up of that if he tells anyone about their mother's death, they are going to be separated and never see each other again. So the oldest son has to keep their mother's death a secret while trying to take care of his two younger siblings and making it unknown about what's going on.
All right. Very good. So what's the progress on that movie? Is it done already? Where is it at right now?
Right now, it is in post-production at the moment. And actually, if you go to austinfox.com with 2 X's, we actually have a GoFundMe campaign you can donate to help Mom get completed a bit faster.
All right, so you said Austin Foxx with 2 X's, because sometimes there's Fox with 1 X. So I like to spell Fox with about 9 X's. But that probably won't get to your website, though. Yeah, so that's pretty good. So what's going on, Cory? Do you have, is this the only son you have that's into the movie thing? Do you have any more kids? And if you do, are they having #1 smashes too?
Well, I actually have a total of 4 kids, and my youngest one, who's about 2 years younger than Austin, he kind of has a little bit of the bug to do acting, but he is just not as dedicated as Austin is. But he's getting there. He's starting to enjoy it a little bit. And I have an older son who just likes playing on his computer all the time. And I also have a daughter who is married and lives in Oklahoma.
All right. All right. That's cool. So, Cory, how did you get to where you are as far as acting and producing and writing?
Well, actually, back in the early 2000s, I teamed up with a gentleman named Rocky Costanzo, and we started a film production company called Lifeline Entertainment. And we took and we made, I believe, about 6 feature films within a 10-year period. Then back in 2008, I decided I needed to spend more time with my family, so I upped and moved back to Texas from California to raise my kids. And then about 2.5 years ago, I really got back into this because my son Austin, he approached me saying he wanted to get into acting, and I got the bug for it too and got back into it.
All right. Well, what's it like? What's it like having a son that has already directed a movie and is already on his way up? What's that like for you?
You know what? It's really awing, if you know what I mean. I'm just at awe at how he just stepped up. Because when we were first talking about this project, I said, well, the first thing you need to do is you need to do a treatment on it. And I explained to him, treatment is about a 3-paragraph paper that says, the beginning, middle, and end of your story and how you want it to work. And he actually, did that in a couple of days, and I read over it, and I'm just like, okay, I like this perspective. Let's, got final draft, put it on his computer, and said, okay, here's how you format it, punch out a script. And I think it took him about 2 weeks, and he had about 29 pages of script written.
All right. So, Austin, where'd you come up with the idea for Mom? Like, what first sparked your idea? Oh, I want to make a movie, and I wanted to have this plot and be named this. So how did you come up with all that?
Well, how I came up with the movie idea was I was having a conversation with my dad in the car, and we were listening to the news at the time. We kind of got into a conversation about the news that was on, and we kind of talked about it, and eventually I said, hey, what if there was this movie where instead of the kids being separated at the one trying to cross, the mom dies and the oldest son takes care of his younger siblings. Why hasn't anyone come up with this yet? So that was kind of my thought on it, and my dad was like, that's a great idea. You need to write a treatment out, and like he said, we did all that. A few weeks later, bada bing, bada boom, we got a script.
All right. There you go. All right. So what is your life like, Austin? I know what's your school life like? What's your life like outside the movie studio? Like, how are you just as a regular 12-year-old kid? Like, what's that like for you?
Outside the acting industry, it's fairly normal. I like playing video games. I like my brothers. I used to do sports and stuff, but once I got into acting, I had to get out of that because we didn't have time for it. But necessary schooling, I am homeschooled, but I will be getting back into regular school soon. So kind of fairly normal, other than that whole acting and directing a movie bit.
Yeah, well, other than acting and directing, everything is pretty cool. No, that's cool. That's definitely that's cool. So Cory, what kind of obstacles, and you can answer this too, Austin, both of you, what kind of obstacles have you overcome, both inside and external, to reaching this acting thing? I want to hear from both of you about maybe difficulties you've confronted, inner obstacles, lack of confidence, whatever it might be that you had to overcome to get to where you are now. I don't care who goes first.
Well, I'll go first there. And I think one of the major obstacles to overcome was lack of confidence, not having the confidence of saying, hey, can I really do this when I get in front of the camera? I don't want to look cheesy in front of the camera. I don't want to, I don't want to sound like I'm amateurish at this. So, and that's really not an easy thing to do, because most people, when they get in front of cameras, the first thing they do, they forget all their lines. I was kind of lucky that I was actually in theater all through junior high and high school, and wound up being a member of the International Thespian Society. So that helped me with the lines, but it's a whole different ballpark when you get in front of a camera and there's people, pawing over you, making sure your hair's done correctly, your makeup, and you're trying to get lines, and you have to build a chemistry with whoever you're acting with. Sometimes that's kind of hard to overcome, and there's a lot of people that can't do it. They're just either they're too shy or they can't take the pressure.
So how did you deal with the pressure, Cory, when it came to maybe you feel a little bit lack of confidence, a little unsure, maybe you feel a little bit discouraged sometimes? So how do you handle those ups and downs?
Well, most people will probably call it meditation. I just called it taking a step back, taking a deep breath, really going into your inner thoughts to find that inner self. I also think that, I was in the military as well, in the Army, and they kind of teach you how to overcome barriers and obstacles and, just pull within yourself and strive forward.
So do you mentioned meditation there. What do you have any regular routines that you use on a consistent basis to kind of keep you centered? I mean, meditation is one of them, but other than that, do you have any more? What do you do to stay centered?
The main thing I do to stay centered is I will close my eyes, take a deep breath, and I will slowly count to 10. And that really works good on helping you relax and get focused. I don't really sit and meditate, but you can call that a form of meditation, where you just close your eyes, take a deep breath, draw it out while you count to 10.
Yeah, that's a quick meditation type of thing. Yeah, certainly. Meditation is not some format where you sit with your legs crossed going Om. That's not the only version. So, So Austin, what do you do to relax and take some of the load off or some of the pressure off?
Well, I just kind of do the same thing. I just relax a bit, really think about the scene, and then I go into it when I need a little boost. And one of the obstacles I have to get through was when I first got my agent and had to get into the business. One of the first roles I got was a principal role in a major motion Paramount picture. And being brought into that all of a sudden and early, which is something a lot of people don't go into that fast, being hit with something big, it's kind of stressful. But I'm just a beginner. How can I do this? And it turns out I didn't have any lines throughout the scene. I just had to do a bunch of actions as I was a ghost in the movie. So that's two things that hit me. So one of the things I did was made sure I knew everything and just really got into my character then. So I'd say that's one of the biggest obstacles I had to overcome.
When I was younger, I started doing acting tapes when I was 11 years old and doing all the voices myself and writing out the little plots and doing them on cassette tapes so people can hear them. So what did you do anything like that or similar before you got into the movie thing? Like when did this movie thing start for you? The idea of you wanting to be an actor or a writer. When did it start for you, Austin? Did it start, I'm sure it started earlier than 11, 12, because that's sort of earlier than that.
Yeah, sure. I actually did a little bit of modeling and stuff in my younger years. When I was a little child, I was actually in the Lifeline Entertainment logo, which is our filmmaking company. I actually did a little bit of modeling for that. So every time you see a movie, I'm the child right there, one of the children.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And I was in a magazine when I was about 7 or 6. And I kind of say that's about where I kind of started getting fascinated with what all these people were doing and them getting out into the world and being in this little wonderland where they're in control and they're being someone else and getting to act as that. Basically anything you want all in one.
Mm-hmm. So are you in the movie, Austin, or are you just directing it and you just wrote it?
I am in the movie as well. I actually played the main character, William, who is the one that takes care of his younger siblings and hides their mother's death from everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. And so after Mom, what's the future for you? Do you any projects you have in your mind after Mom, and what other things would you like to do in the future for your career?
But one of my biggest goals right now is to get a lead role in a huge major motion picture movie. That is one of my main goals that I want to accomplish. But other projects I have in mind for writing or directing, we actually have a few in mind that we cannot really discuss at the moment, as it's a little surprise for everyone. So.
No, I definitely understand not discussing future ideas you got percolating because you just don't know who's listening. You know? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Cory, what's in your future for your acting and your writing and things like that? Where are you headed?
Oh, well, right now we're focusing on trying to get Mom into, several film festivals, Academy qualifying festivals. And we've submitted to about 18 festivals right now that we're waiting to hear back from. So I'm kind of focused on the marketing and promotion of Mom to festivals. I do have a couple of projects that just recently came out and some that are going to be coming out. One called Mistaken Identity you can find on YouTube. And I starred in that with some other people. That was pretty fun. And then coming out, I believe later on this year, the first of next year, is a movie called Assassination 33 AD that I was in. Should be coming out pretty soon.
Okay. Well, do you want to star in some? Do you want to be the lead role star in some major, motion picture where you win awards on the stage and have everyone snap your picture? Do you want to do that?
No, not really. I just enjoy having a little fun, working on the sets. I'm content with being a supporting role, or having a lead role would be great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more into now watching my kids develop their career and helping them grow, and just teaching them what I learned through the process.
Yeah. So behind all this acting stuff, Cory, and your kid, and you have your 4 kids, what are some of the values that you believe in as you raise your kids? What are some of the values you're trying to get across to them? And just because this is a men's program, what kind of male values are you teaching your male kids? I was going to say male sons, which is redundant. Male son. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yes, but you're absolutely right. And here's the one thing: be humble. That's the one main thing that it almost seems like typically, it's not good for a male to be humble. But you need to be humble. You need to be very grateful for any opportunity that's brought your way. On the set of Eli, when we were done, I had him sit down and he wrote out over 50 thank you cards to everyone that was on that set. Even though he wasn't, the lead main character, everyone that had something to do with that production, he wrote out a thank you card and, gave them out to everyone on the set. And it's just because you really need to be grateful for the opportunities you've got, be humble, and treat people the way you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Austin, what are some of the values that you uphold as you move through your career? Like, what are the things that are important to you?
Well, one of the values I definitely stand for is if you're passionate for something and you really want to do it, then go do it. You don't have to wait till you're 18 or when you think you can do it. You can, if you are truly passionate for something, if you really want to do it, then you should just go do it. Why wait? You have your whole life ahead of you. You got time to just go do it. That's kind of what I say.
We're doing a Nike thing here. Just do it. All right? Just do it. All right? Exactly. So, you know, all three of us here have a lot of things in common as far as coming, you know, from an acting or improv. I've done a lot of improv in my past. So what are some of the things that you do to make sure that you stay on point when you have to do a movie? How do you memorize your lines? How often do you practice? What keeps you on target? Because also being a public speaker, as you might imagine, takes practicing as well. And I do that too. So give some tips, both of you, give some tips on just preparing for something, whether it be a speech or a movie or an audition or whatever.
Well, I know growing up, I was really always taught that proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Say that 3 times fast.
I've heard that a lot. So, and that's a really true statement. And, you know, you have to really dedicate yourself, and like for memorizing lines, you know, sit down, or even stand and, you know, memorize the lines, do it in front of a mirror, see what your facial expressions are. You want to, you know, be as natural as you can, because even though they call it acting, you're not really acting. You're having a normal conversation with another person, or you're demonstrating a normal action to people. So you have to be as natural and normal as you can. And that's really hard to do when you have to start thinking about it, or you're given specific lines that you have to say when you're trying to do that. So whenever I try to memorize, I do it in front of a mirror just to see my facial expressions and how I'm reacting and stuff, to see if I'm as, you know, as normal and realistic as I can be.
Mm-hmm. All right. What about you, Austin?
Well, here's one thing that I say. Memorize the scene, then the lines. Because if you just memorize those lines and that's all you do, you're going to be bland and it's not going to be natural. Although if you really get into the chemistry of the scene, you can be more natural and you'll do 100% better at the scene. And like you said, practice in a mirror, look your facial expressions and all that. And before you get on camera or do an audition, do some breathing exercises or voice exercises that can help with your enunciation and help you be more relaxed.
Yeah, and that's a great tip too. Just absorb the scene of what you're going to be in, because you know you see on TV when people imitate practicing for a scene, they go over the lines and I forgot my lines and over and over and over. But it really is important, that's what you said, to absorb the scene, get an idea on the feeling of the entire scene, the feeling of the other person, the feeling of the room, whatever that you're supposed to act like you're in. So yes, just swallow the scene, not just the lines. You know, that's excellent. And I actually don't hear a lot of people say that. Even actors themselves, they don't give that kind of advice. So that's actually really good. You know. So for the Bodias, what are some of what's your favorite character to play? Do you like to play the good guy, the bad guy, you know, terrorism, or an airline pilot? What do you like to play? What's your favorite?
For me, I like to play the mysterious guy. You know, you don't quite know if he's good or evil. So that would probably be my favorite character to play, and I've had to play him a couple of times. So.
Oh, and Austin?
I probably couldn't say much, as I'm not as experienced as my dad hasn't been in it for too long. But one of my favorite characters I have had to play was being a ghost in Eli, just being silent and not able to express yourself through voice. It really was interesting to play on and try and make the viewer understand you. And I think that's one of my favorite characters to play.
Oh, all right. Excellent. Cory, how proud are you of your son?
I'm extremely proud of him. He has definitely, since he told me he wanted to start doing this, he has stepped up and he has taken the lessons like I told him to do. Anytime I, giving him something to do or instruction, he absorbs it and uses it and utilizes it. So I really see very good things for him in the future.
Oh. And Cory, do you plan to have any more children there? You got a gold mine. So
I turned 50 yesterday. I don't even want grandkids. Okay.
50. I mean, to 50, that's nothing. Men can just keep going until like 80. They'll still, So.
True.
Yep.
No, I think I have plenty of kids. So.
Oh, okay. No problem. Absolutely. So what is in fact, I want two actually. So Cory, I'm going to ask both of you, but so Cory, what are two things you can tell people right now to help them either get the confidence to pursue their dreams or stay centered or anything like that? What's some of those soft personal management skills there?
Make eye contact and listen. Absorb what you're being told. And if you don't understand, don't be afraid to ask questions.
If you don't understand, don't be afraid to ask questions. But Cory, what if I get embarrassed and what if I feel ashamed? What do I do?
Well, the same thing. Just it's never bad to ask a question, especially when it comes to, being in acting and trying to understand what a director is trying to instill in you to make the scene work the way they want it to work. If you're embarrassed, if you're shy, it's going to come off. And hopefully you're going to be working with someone that can make you feel more comfortable, relax you, and draw those questions out of you because they want you to do your best. They wouldn't have hired you or brought you in to do that project if they didn't see something in you. So they're hopefully going to work with you to draw out your best to make the project work good.
All right. So Austin, what is some of your advice for especially people who may be at or near your age or have kids around your age? What advice would you give them to stay steady, stay confident, keep going? Give me a couple.
Well, for actors out there, kind of what my dad said, if you're curious, don't be afraid to ask questions. If it's in the scene and you have a question about it or how the scene goes, then ask it. It's in there for a reason. They don't want you to just ignore it or not know fully what to do. The director wants you to ask those questions to help you do your best. And as I said earlier, if you're passionate for something, go out there and make it happen, like I said earlier.
All right. Well, I want everyone to get to see the Bodias. So how can people see more of you, Cory, and more of you, Austin? I'm sure you have your own respective websites and social media stuff that's different. So how can people see and hear and like more of you?
Well, I mean, you can see both Austin and I on our Facebook pages. It's really easy with our names, Cory Foxx and Austin Foxx. And like Austin said earlier, you can go to austinfoxx.com. That have some information about his movie Mom, some behind-the-scenes photos. And there's also a GoFundMe to help finish that project. I know I have an Instagram as well, at Cory Foxx. And Austin, you do too. It's at Austin Foxx 11, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what else do you have?
Facebook.
Okay. Oh, and you can see us both on IMDb as well. That pretty much shows what projects we have coming up and stuff.
All right. IMDb. Go ahead, Austin.
Oh, and if you want to see a project I was recently in, go up on YouTube and search Lovesick by Amanda Lee. That was a little student project I was in with Maya Delgado, and she is a girl who helped with the music in Mom. So you can go check that out if you're interested.
All right. So what's an average day in your life, Austin? What do you do when you get up until you go to bed, like the average day for you?
Average day. Well, depending if I have an audition or not, well, right now it's summer, so it's kind of, I either wake up, take a shower, all that. I play some video games, play with my dog Sandy, may go outside if I feel, and if I have an audition, work on that, do the audition, and go to bed. That's kind of mostly what it is.
Oh.
Actors are just like people. They just have a job and what everyone else does.
That's right. Absolutely. I know third parties find people's lives interesting to watch. So,
Yes.
Definitely. Well, I definitely appreciate the Bodies coming on the show. This is really great, and I want people to go check things out and hopefully help you continue to fund Mom so it can get out there quicker. And this is excellent stuff. And I don't know if I should say this on the air, but if I say it and it shouldn't be on the air, I can cut it out during editing. You're getting you want your own podcast too, Austin, I'm hearing.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's a matter of finding time to do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, finding time to do it is one thing, but what's it going to be about?
I'll have to think of ideas to do that. I haven't really thought of it too much as I've been so busy recently with Mom.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, well, thank y'all for coming on the show. Great. This is a great team, and you are the first team I've interviewed on this show. So,
well, thank you very much for having us. We really appreciate being on.
Definitely.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, like father, like son. You know? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? At the top of the interview, I told you that I coinkadinkly interviewed one of the actresses that played in Mom, and I didn't even know that she was in Mom until she mentioned it. Now, Shanna Toft is an actress and a model, right? And she's in Mom, among other films. I didn't find that out until she said it. Her interview is intended for another program, not this one. But being that I ran into her and she was in Mom, and we just heard Austin Foxx talk about Mom, I thought I would play this interview. We got time. The Austin and Cory interview was short. We got time. The interview with Shanna Toft is not all that long. So, coinkadinkly, let's do it. So you just heard the producer of Mom. And you can find, by the way, you can find out more information. If you're not listening to us through the Core Confidence Life website itself at www.coreconfidencelife.com, you can see all the information you want about Cory and Austin. If you go to coreconfidencelife.com, go to the search bar and just, search for 12-year-old actor. And it'll pop right up because the stuff about Austin and Cory and their IMDb page and their social media activity and more things about Mom, the movie, is right there on the show page. So coreconfidencelife.com, do a search for 12-year-old actor if you're not already listening to us from that page. And now, this interview was intended for another program, but I'm going to plop it here as well because she was in Mom, so it's relevant, buddy.
What's going on, Shauna?
Hey, how's it going? It's a beautiful morning here today. It's not raining right now, so that's great.
It's not raining over here. It's going to be a nice, warm day here too. So
Awesome. We've had a lot of storms lately, so that's why I'm just like, oh, the sun is out. It's wonderful.
oh my goodness, the sun is shining on our souls. Yes. So, Miss Actress, tell us about you. What is this actress label you've got? What kind of an actress are you? What are you doing with your life right now?
Well, I do a little bit of theater here and there, but my first love is film. And so I mostly do film and television, commercial, and industrial films in the area. I live in the Dallas area, and we are really, really big on industrial videos. So like training videos and things like that for companies, but we are gaining more interest in films, whether they are short or features. So I've been doing more and more of those, and television commercials and even some series out there. So whether they are on networks or on web series, I've been doing a lot of different projects there. I love being in front of the camera. I love being on stage too, but I really, really love being in front of the camera.
All right. Really love. So are you in any films or projects that we would know?
Well, I am in some films that are just coming out. Flip Turn is a film about an autistic boy who joins the swim team. And Mom is another film that's a short film that's going through the film festival circuits. I am also we just shot a trailer for a psycho thriller called Dying to Kill, and I'm one of the lead characters in that film. We will be filming the feature length version in July or August, and that one is a ton of fun to do, so please be on the lookout for that. Just had a red carpet event, a Hollywood red carpet event here in Dallas for Insincere Twins. That is a feature film. We rented out the full theater. We had the limos. I had a dress made. It was amazing. We went all out for this particular feature. So we are actually pitching some of the work that I have been in to Lionsgate and Netflix and BET and things like that. So you will be seeing me on your local television screen at some point. I've been putting it out there. You're gonna see me on Netflix. You will see me on Netflix. I promise you that. I will be on Netflix and Hulu.
Oh, well, if we don't, can we sue?
I'd rather you didn't, but
Oh, okay. We can bring an ass action lawsuit.
Oh, yes.
You mentioned Mom, and on another program I host, I actually interviewed the 12-year-old boy that's directed Mom.
Yes. He was a pleasure, and I'm really great friends with his dad as well. So, I mean, I played an attorney in that movie. So, and I got the raw footage for that the other day. It is so beautifully done. It is amazing. It's going to do really, really well in the festivals.
Oh, yes. I just had him and his father on my other program. Great people.
Yes. Absolutely wonderful people. I do have a series that is going to be coming out on a major network. I am limited to what I'm allowed to say about it. I cannot say which network it is, but I can tell you that I am a villain with superpowers. And that role is absolutely just one of the most fun roles I've gotten to play so far. I love fight scenes. I absolutely love them.
Oh, you love fight scenes.
I do. And, if I ever had the opportunity to work with Keanu Reeves, that would make my century. I tell you, I want to work with him on some kind of fight scene, like in a John Wick movie or a Matrix movie, or, you know, just something along those lines. That would just, I don't know. I adore him. He is just a beautiful person inside and out. But I love that he also does all of his own stunts. You know, he trains, and it would just be an honor to be able to work with him on some kind of action movie.
Oh, all right. That's great. That sounds great. So yeah, I want to get into your history, but I want to cover the other label too, because I found this interesting. So in addition to the actress label you got and producer, you also have the M word, the model. You're a model. So
Yes.
tell us about that. What kind of modeling do you do? Are you in any magazines or anything that we might know? Yeah, let's hear it.
Mostly it's behind the scenes stuff, you know, just doing some print work, doing some runway stuff like that. So I haven't made the big time with that, but my claim to fame really with the modeling is I was a live Barbie doll for Mattel when I was a little bit younger. Well, okay, a little bit more than a little bit younger.
It's a little bit more. Back in my day, I played a Barbie
Back in the day. You know, when I was pretty fresh out of high school, and just in the early years of college, I was a live Barbie doll for Mattel. That's really how I got started in the modeling. I had to dye my hair blonde and everything too, but that was absolutely amazing to be employed by Mattel to go be a live Barbie doll and get to sign autographs as her. And so I know now they have, I'm not sure if they had them back then, but I know they have companies that do like princess characters and, you know, different things like that. But this was specifically hired by Mattel to go be a Barbie doll. And so that was awesome. Everything was purely authentic with the dress and the posters, and, you know, it was just awesome. It was.
I am tempted to edit in here, I'm a Barbie girl, but I won't.
Yes. That used to be one of my favorite songs. I loved it when they would play it at the bowling alley. I'd be like all dancing and everything.
Yeah, come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure if I want to party with you. You know? So what got you to be an actress? Because you talked a little bit about your origins of being a model. So it had the actress thing spring out of that, or was that another origin?
No, that was just another little perk. The modeling too. Like I would model for my mom and her friends growing up and stuff. Like I'd put on fashion shows at the house or whatever. But with the acting, that actually started with theater when I was in elementary school. So I've been acting since I was like 5, and, you know, through high school, really, I was limited to being able to do theater because, you know, Dallas just really wasn't a huge, you know, acting hub like Atlanta is or like LA is. So, you know, a lot of us get our start with theater. And then I started getting into acting professionally really in the past year, just doing the commercials and the industrial videos and things like that, and just networking. And you know, you get to know the right people. You are working all the time. Relationship equity is absolutely key in any industry, but especially in this one, because, you know, friends work together and they help each other find jobs and things like that. So I work with a lot of the same people, different versions of the same circle, you know what I'm saying, in this area. So I've even had things written specifically for me, you know, written with me in mind. And there's a lot of short films going on around here. There are some feature films going on around here. And it's I don't know, the networking really is what has got me into acting professionally. I love theater still. I still do some theater. But my heart is definitely with the camera.
And I love your passion and your spirit that you have for your craft. So you mentioned that you love fight scenes. So is that one of your favorite roles to play? What's one of your favorite roles to play?
Oh, for sure. Like I love getting to play a villain too, because I'm a mostly nice person and a good person, but just there's something about getting to play a villain that you just get to unleash and be somebody you totally are not. I mean, I would hope people aren't really villains, but it's so much fun, and you're going to end up losing because that's what villains are supposed to do. But there is so much fun in just being that adversary and just conniving and planning and scheming and just getting to be naughty.
Mm-hmm.
I was such a good kid growing up. I really, really was. Like, I rarely got in trouble for anything. So as a professional actor, to be able to, go do things to get in trouble and get paid for it is awesome,
All right. Well, we know what your favorite role is. Now, this is an interesting question. I never asked this to another actor I've interviewed, but I'll do it now. What's your least favorite role? What's a role like, well, I can play it, but I'd rather not?
Oh, man, I don't like mushy stuff. I really don't. Like, I could do a rom-com or something like that, but, it's where you're all in the feels. I'm not that kind of a person.
Come on, you don't want to have like a romantic evening and then your beau gets on one hand and 6 knees and proposes to you?
No, gross.
You don't want that? Oh, come on. How about a nice teary-eyed session and you're supporting your friend who just went through a
No.
You'd rather knock them out.
More edgy. I'm naturally edgy. So, like, I grew up on Terminator and Alien and Predator and stuff like that. So, I'm definitely not a mushy person.
Oh, all right. Wow. Well, what is plans for you in the future? Now, I know you've talked about some of the things that are coming out with you in it, but do you have any plans to expand? You've been an actress, you've been a model, you've been a director. So what's in the future for you? Are you going to expand to any other related fields? Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I host things too, so I would love to be able to do like an awards show. Oh, speaking of, let me let you in on something really quick that I don't get to tell a whole lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But last summer into fall time frame, Tyra Banks was in Dallas to host the Women That Soar Awards, and I was part of getting ready for that show. So I actually got to be her stand-in.
Oh,
I did, because we look so much alike. I am telling you, and we're the same height and everything. But no, I got to be Tyra Banks's stand-in. So, and I got to actually read the teleprompter and make sure everything was really, working well for her and everything. And she is the sweetest person ever. I mean, she could be such a diva, but she really, she has that clout where, she could, if she wanted to, be such a diva. But she is really down to earth. She's a sweet, just adorable person. And it was an honor to get to meet her and set up that show for her. So I would love to do some kind of televised awards show like that too. I love hosting too.
Yeah, hosting is kind of cool, isn't it?
It is. But I want to do it on camera.
Oh, well, on camera.
I host concerts and birthday parties and things like that, but I would love to do it live on camera.
Great. That's great. So we've spent a lot of time talking about your professional life. So give us an idea on what your life is like outside of the camera and the stage. What's going on? What's your life like? Do you have any spouse, any kids? Like what are you like?
Oh goodness. Like, my life never stops. I am always go, 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 go. But I am a single mom of 5. And I have been divorced for just under 9 years. So full-time single parenting. Thankfully, they're not little bitty, so I don't have to get a sitter or anything like that. My oldest just turned 18. And I've got 3 other teenagers and then a preteen. So, I mean, they're pretty self-sufficient, and they're really super supportive of me, you know, just going out there and doing what I love to do. So as long as I'm happy, they're happy. And they've actually been in a couple of movies with me as extras. They were in Flip Turn with me. And they were in No Other Love with me, which No Other Love is a faith-based film. So, I mean, they're on the big screen too, which is really, really cool.
Oh, all right. Well, that's good. You handle your life is quite busy, and you handle a lot. You juggle. You're a good juggler. You ever think about going to the circus?
Oh, no. Well, maybe trapeze. Actually, I've been on a trapeze before. That takes a lot of core strength, by the way.
Well, I would imagine.
But like work-wise, I actually took a whole month off from, you know, working a regular job at all. I did jump back into working a regular job, but now I work nights so that I can keep my days free for all of the acting stuff. So like I'll have to nap a little bit here and there.
Oh man, that one hour here, 2 hours there,
exactly.
30 minutes here. Oh boy.
No, thankfully I don't need a whole lot of sleep. Like I function really, really well on 1 to 2 hours. So, you know, this is me on a couple hours of sleep, and I'm perfectly fine. So I'm strange like that.
Hey, everybody's different. Now, where can we find more about you and your material and your films and your modeling and just you? Where can we find more about you?
I've got a website, actually. It's www.shawnatoft.com. That is SHANNATOFT.com.
Oh, you know, before the program, I called her Shauna, and then she reached through the phone and slapped my beak when I said Shauna. So it's Shauna, no W's.
Correct.
You know,
yes.
You don't want to make that mistake. Ow.
It's spelled Shanna, pronounced Shauna.
There you go. Well, you know, I love your energy, and your career is moving, and you're juggling. And thank you for spending time on the program to let us know about all your work. And I encourage everyone to go to your site to see more of your work. And we look forward to seeing you in all of these upcoming films. And if you're not there, I'm going to sue.
Thank you so much, Dennis.
All right, how is that for an action-packed podcast for your ass, right? For your ass. All right. Outside the window, there is a little motorcycle going by. All right, you are listening to the Core Confidence Life podcast. I'm your host, Dennis, broadcasting to you from New York City. All right, if you are a man who wants to come on the program and tell their story of overcoming inner barriers and transcending insecurities and anxieties and uncomfortabilities to achieve your personal and professional goals, get with us. CoreConfidenceLife.com/guest. CoreConfidenceLife.com/guest. We welcome you. Learn more about the Core Confidence Life services, our podcast services, our artist promotion services, our men's coaching services, all on the website. CoreConfidenceLife.com. And until next time, yeah, that's right. Master your inner game, and I guess in this case, take the stage.